Welcome to the Beauty in Burnt Toast, the podcast where we celebrate the crispy, chaotic, unexpectedly beautiful parts of life. I'm Jade.
And I'm Jamie. We're two women doing our best to live with purpose, laugh through the mess, and talk about the stuff that no one puts on Instagram.
Here you'll find real stories, unfiltered conversations, and reminders that perfection is overrated, but showing up, that matters.
And whether you're building a business, raising humans, chasing healing, or just trying to remember what day it is, you belong here.
So pour the coffee, reheat the toast, and let's get into it. This is the Beauty in Burnt Toast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Beauty in Burnt Toast. We are starting a real estate series right now, and today's episode is called The Real Reason Your Loan Got Denied. It's you. Today we have with us Christy Tabscott with Riverbank and Trust. If you think lenders just sit behind a desk stamping approved or denied, you are in for a treat. She has been in the lending world long enough to see every wild credit score, every desperate letter of explanation, and every last minute oops you can imagine. And trust me, I'm sure she has plenty of stories to tell.
Only some I can share.
So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started.
I answered an ad when I was 23 years old. I had been a receptionist, done a couple of other little things like that. And I answered an ad and I drove to Huntsville to have this interview. And they said I was the only one that made small talk with them at the front desk while I was waiting for the interview. And they hired me.
So just
And I
very
started out as a
personable.
receptionist, and I worked into processing and then into being a lender. I took a break for 4 years and worked at the Carriage House from 96 to 2000 and kind of honed my sales skills. So,
Where was the ad posted?
and probably the Decatur Daily.
Okay.
I'm sure that's
Just
all I had
curious.
access to. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't anything real
Yeah.
fancy back then. It was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on paper.
It was on paper. Yes, like you had to circle them and call them, and yeah, it was old school. Yeah.
So 28 years later, what was it that made this the job for you?
I think anything sales related would have probably been a good fit some way, somehow. But when I got into lending and I saw that people were so fulfilled themselves, you can't help but feeling what they're feeling. And it didn't take me long to really fall in love with my first time home buyers, of course. And they just, if you can get them on board, they really do enjoy the process. If they will kind of ride the wave with me.
Yeah.
I know that it's very frustrating for some, but I think first time home bbuyers are
We know
what's
that's
kind of.
so first.
I know. Well, it's just you get attached to people. It's just
yeah.
like in real life. You just make friends. I had a gift on my desk Monday or Tuesday morning from somebody that closed 4 months ago.
Oh my goodness.
She said, I just thought about you. And I was like, oh, sweet.
That's awesome. That is
Oh,
sweet.
it is sweet.
Yeah.
I know
that's fun.
it's
It
hard
is.
because you get attached to people in this process, and then it's like
They're gone.
almost like a breakup.
No. It's like we divorced. Come back.
You're spending almost every day with
know.
them, talking to them all the time, and it's just like,
I know.
Yeah, I see folks all the time that I think, oh man, we had a good time with them.
I know. And then you kind of like, I missed you. Are you ready to buy another house? I know some people.
And they're like, why are you so weird?
so do you ever work with families? I really enjoy that, like you have
Yes,
parents
yeah.
and then children and things like that.
Generations.
Yes,
And
yeah.
yes. And then it'll be a different last name, and I won't put it together until we get into it. And then they tell me who their grandmother is or whatever. And I'm like, oh, wow.
And
How
then
cool.
you're like, you're how old?
Yeah, exactly. You were a baby, I think, when we did the first purchase.
Right.
Yeah. I love the generation thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So what keeps your passion going for this business?
I think just seeing the people finally breathe at the end and feel the completion of the process. They don't owe me any more paperwork. They don't have to wait anymore. Because I think that waiting, even though it's 30 days, people are like, well, this is going to fly by. And I'm like, yes, it is. And then they're like, oh, wait, this is taking forever. No, it's not. It's flying by again. I think getting to the complete, just getting to closing and getting them to take a breath. I walked out the other day after a closing, and the little girl was jumping up and down after her closing, standing at the car window talking to whoever was with her. And I was like, that's so special. And I wouldn't have seen that if I had not left at that exact time.
Right.
She didn't act that excited in the closing. And I guess she just held it all in until she got
was like,
outside.
I'm terrified.
No, she was scared. She was a first time home buyer. She's single mom.
Yeah.
So she was a little scared. But I think that ignited it again. I wasn't having the greatest day, and that kind of fixed it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
it did.
Well, I know it's hard. Like in the beginning, things are moving very fast.
Yes.
And then you hit a point where it's just like, hurry up and wait. You know, it's
Right.
like nothing is happening.
What are
and
y'all
they're like,
doing?
what's going
Yes.
on? It's just part of the process,
Right.
you know?
Waiting on the underwriter. Yes, exactly. And it is part of the process. And that's one of the hardest things with people when they do sit across from me is I need paperwork and I need you to be urgent. This is urgent. We've got to do this. We need to have a sense of urgency. And I think it kind of flips people out sometimes how urgent it is.
Yeah.
Because we need it quickly. You know, we've got a lot to do.
Yeah.
And they think, oh, 30 days. She didn't need this till like the 29th. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that getting somebody to closing is very fulfilling. And for y'all too. I like to see y'all happy too.
We like to be happy.
We do. All of us.
So generationally, as far as paperwork and things like that, what do you see between like the older crowd and the younger crowd? Is there some that are better about getting the paperwork done and getting it in? Is it harder for the younger generation?
They want to text it.
Yeah.
They want to take a picture.
Oh no.
And that I can do that.
Yeah.
It's just I have to do it. I have to take it from my phone, email it, go through, put it on a Word document, save it as PDF, move it over here, move it over there. It's doable. It's just they just do it differently. And we do have a portal, and oddly, they don't want to use that. They want to text it. They don't want to upload it. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know what if what they're texting would upload anyway, so I'll have to do a little exploration on that. But they do like to text, and the older people like, you know, depending on how old they are, a lot of times they'll just bring it to me.
Yes,
and
yeah.
I just go through it and get what I need and scan it, and it's fine. And then
Have you ever had to go to somebody's house?
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably about to go to somebody's today. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just do. You go do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Meet them in the parking lot. Meet them at the Waffle House.
Oh, yeah.
Starbucks now. That's always an easy one.
I've signed a contract on the hood of somebody's car before, so
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
You do what you
Like
got to
gonna
do.
it right now.
Absolutely.
That's the paper for you.
I'd sign one wherever I wanted to if I wanted that house bad enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, what is the funniest, most bizarre thing you've seen on a loan?
There's so many that it's hard to say.
It's a loaded question.
It is very loaded. But one of the funniest things, and I don't know why this has stuck in my mind over the years, it tickled my boss yesterday when I told her, but I had this guy make application online, and he was a salon owner. And when he completed the application, he was a saloon owner. And I just thought that was the funniest thing. I don't know why that hit me so funny, but I just loved it.
You're like, what in the 1900s?
And I had a guy one time rescind, you know, you have rescission after a refinance. You have 3 days, you have to wait for the money to move. And he rescinded on his loan because his payment had 3 sixes in it.
Oh, I would do that.
Well, not in a row. They were just in it.
Oh, they were.
Like
It wasn't like
$627.66.
I don't know. I still.
He did.
Listen.
We had to
That's
change his loan
interesting.
amount by $100. Now, what broke my heart is when the escrows changed, they maybe back to 3 sixes.
No.
It could. You know, I know.
That is so
I'm
strange.
not superstitious about things except that and red ink. I won't write anything in red ink and no 666.
Why red ink?
Writing your life away.
That's what that means?
I don't know.
I've never thought about
It's in
that.
my brain.
You just
Wait,
made that up.
I made it up. The waitress comes to me with an ink pen that's red. I'm like, no, girl. You are not doing this to me today.
I love it. I didn't know that one. I'll have to remember that. Now I've got to go clean out my drawer at work and get all the red pens out.
Red ink. Maybe it's like a school thing.
I was going to say,
Not have the
forget,
best
yeah, making bad grade.
So maybe it's Anyway, on to the other thing.
What's a myth people always believe about lenders that's wrong?
Well, we don't control every single aspect. As much as I like to pretend I do, I really don't. And I would love to. I would love to control the underwriter, but it doesn't happen. We just don't control the underwriting. Don't control the turnaround time. We don't control how long it takes. We certainly don't control what they want. Now, I'll fight for you if it's something completely ridiculous and you don't think that you need to give it to me. Yeah. But most of the time, I can explain why they need it and we'll still get it. But I just can't control underwriting.
Well, I think that's the real estate world in general. People just don't realize a lot of things are completely out of your hands.
It's just a lot of moving parts.
Yeah,
there are.
And yeah, there's a lot of people that you can't control. You know, whether it be survey, appraisal,
That's right. And you're waiting. You're waiting on 10 people to do 10 different things, and it's all got to come together by this certain date. It's a miracle we close sometimes.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah,
it really is.
One missing piece, and we are all
the missing piece.
One misconception I can think of people probably don't understand is how much communication do you have with the appraiser?
None.
Yes.
I don't get to talk to him at all.
Yeah.
We use a middleman, third party, and I don't get to talk to him at all. I can talk to the third party, and they can talk to him all they want, but I don't get to talk to him.
Yeah, well, I think that's one thing people just don't understand is like who's communicating with who and who works with who, and it's
and my processor does do a lot of the communicating with the third party, so thank God for her. She's out sick today. I panicked when she texted me this morning. I was like, wait a minute, I don't need her for the podcast though.
You can do it.
I think I can do it without
her. So pre-approval versus pre-qualification.
So pre-approval means you have documentation. Pre-qualification means I ask you what you make and so forth and so on, and you give me your biography. Most things are truly a pre-qualification. If they have a W-2 and they work at the post office, they're not probably getting a bonus. I know what they make. If they work at Nucor and they make bonus, because that's one of the ways, the ways they're paid very heavily bonus, I have to have all their documentation. So if self-employed, it's a pre-approval every time. If you ever hear you're not getting a pre-approval on a self-employed person, you need to back up because you've got to have their tax returns up front. You cannot go by what they say.
Yeah.
We are honest and trustworthy people.
and they mean well. They really do. And most of the time they'll lowball it anyway. I actually can most of the time come up with more income unless they have a really snazzy accountant. But really, most of what we do is a pre-qualification because most of the time, the reason we do it that way is if they're going to look for 3 or 4 months, and a lot of people do, and sometimes more than that.
Yeah.
If they go ahead and give me their documentation, it's going to expire, and we're going to have to get new stuff when they find the house and have the contract. So I try to keep the paperwork up front to a minimum if I can, but sometimes, depending on what's gone on with the house, the listing agent, if they've had it fall through before, I'll go ahead and do a pre-approval to make sure that it pleases everybody because we want to keep that listing agent happy too.
What are you seeing timeline-wise right now from when people are approved to when they're actually closing? Does that seem to be getting longer to you?
It's kind of all over the place. I have people that have a contingency on their contract that's been going on for months. I have a guy that went and looked at one house and wrote a contract. He bought his first house he looked at, which is awesome because that's what I do. It's just all over the place because there's so many different price ranges and so many different locations because he was in Elkmont. Right. So he may not have quite as many to choose from as if you were in, downtown Athens or wherever else he might have been looking. It's really all over the place depending on price and stuff.
Yeah.
It is.
One thing I feel like people don't realize too is how much information you have to get from them. Like they feel like they're
we're nosy. Yeah. And I just tell them it's their biography. And when they say, well, what all do you need from me? I'll say, I need your biography. And they're like, oh, okay. Because if I can sum it up that way and not go down this big long list of every line item, I think it makes them a little more comfortable. And then when they ask what items I do need, what I'll need when I need the documentation, that's when I say I need to email you. Yeah. Because that needs to be very specific. And a lot of times I'll leave something off and have to hit it again, and that's okay. As long as we get it, I try to get everything I can up front if possible to make the underwriter happy. Because if they're happy when they open your file, that's better. Yes.
So explain a little bit, because I know this is confusing to some people, like my mom and dad are going to give me $10,000 down payment. And I've already given you all my stuff. And I didn't have $10,000 in my account, but now I do because my mom and dad
Right.
gave it to me.
We have to get a gift letter.
Right.
Well, I'm paying them back. Well, you can't. What you do on your own time is up to you, but you cannot pay them back, and you're going to sign something that says you're not. And they're going to sign something that says you're not. And usually I get the information from the parents. I introduce myself in an email. I tell them what we're doing and have the kid, the kids or the child on there. And hopefully they have email, because sometimes I've had one without an email and we had to do it over the phone, and it was easy. It's just we had to get everything wet
Right.
signed, so it was took a little bit longer. But usually, once you explain everything to them and you kind of just let them know this is what we have to get the loan closed, they're usually okay with it.
But why is that?
Because you can't borrow your down payment on an unsecured debt, and if somebody gives you money,
Right.
that's unsecured. And there's terrorists, there's money laundering, there's all
Right.
kinds of other stuff too that factors into that they're looking at. Main thing is you can't borrow your down payment.
Right.
Very strict on FHA.
Yep. I see so many people get so confused by that. They're like, what does it matter where
I know.
my money
I know.
comes from?
And it does. And it is a lot to explain sometimes, because people have their mind made up
Yes.
when they ask that question, or
Right.
they start telling me about having the gift. They do have their minds made up a lot of times. So
Yeah.
I have to kind of break down that barrier and then get the information into their brains.
Right.
Do you ever have people refuse to give you information?
I did the other day.
Yeah.
And I know him pretty well. And I was like, we're not going to close without it. I'm so sorry. We're not going to close without it.
So what happened?
I got it.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
And I just want to apologize, y'all, in advance. I have the crud, so I'm sorry if I sound weird.
She still looks beautiful. That's all that matters.
Right? I mean, it's a very personal process.
It is.
It's very personal. It's very in your business.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a personality like I have, or if you've had like the I'm not good enough, this is not ever going to happen kind of feeling in your brain, once you get to this and you're in the wait, you're like, oh gosh, something has happened.
Nobody's
I've
calling me.
done something wrong. No one's called.
Yeah.
This is falling through. It's the end of the world. And so I think, as both lender and the agents of record for someone, you have to just comfort them through that weight of silence. Because if not, people start flipping their lids. They come up with the craziest
I know.
things.
And they call y'all, and then y'all are like, what's going on? And I'm like, what's in underwriting? I told them we were in underwriting. We're just waiting. And I think their brains just start processing
Yeah.
what could be going on. And there's really nothing bad.
Right.
It's just we're
part of it.
waiting. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
just waiting. So that's the hardest part, is getting them through that wait. And then they hate it when the wait's over, because then I need more stuff usually. So, yeah. They just love me by the time it's all over with, don't they?
What is one thing that surprises buyers the most when they're sitting across from you?
I really think I read this to my husband when I said, I need your help me make some notes. And he gets to overhear a lot, and he usually hears my side of it. But sometimes I have him on speakerphone, because it's a lovely reception over in our your old neighborhood. And he said, I think the paperwork, I think
Yeah.
that flips them out, doesn't it? And I said, maybe a little bit. I said, I never really think about it, because it happens so early on. They're usually flipping about something else by the time we move on. But I think the other thing I think is the urgency of, I got to have this today. And it's we're closing 30 days away. Why do you need it so quickly? Good grief. And I just have to explain to them, we've just got a lot to do. And I think that is one of the things that really surprises them, is how quickly we need it.
Is there anything that people expect of you that really isn't your job? Like, I know for
everything.
us, we're like home inspector, appraiser,
Right.
lawyer, therapist, like
Right.
all the jobs.
Well, I still get phone calls from one lady that I did her grandson's loan several years ago, and she called to tell me about his horrible girlfriend the other day.
Oh, good.
Yeah, just out of the blue. It didn't have anything to do with anything.
Just wanted somebody to talk to. Yeah.
And I think that is one of the things that we just get to do.
That's a testament to the relationship that you make with people.
It's
yeah.
deep.
Yeah,
It
it is.
Even though, like we talked about it, you kind of break up and you don't get to see them or talk to them. And you know, a lot of times in my case, if I don't get to go to closing, I never meet them face to face.
Yeah.
That's why I try to go to closing if I can, because we do everything. All I know is what they look like on their driver's license or on Facebook if I look them up or they pop
I've
up.
never even thought about
I
that.
know.
That's right.
Because we do everything electronically now.
Right.
Unless they drop something off or I knew them before.
Ooh, y'all gotta go see your lender. She's
Yeah,
just
come
fun.
see me. I know.
Go
we have
see her.
we have a lovely office too.
Well, and I mean, you really are so deep in it with people. I mean, you
Yeah.
know a lot of personal information, like for us as well, like relationships, divorces, babies,
Yes.
deaths, like all the things. We're in the midst of it.
It's like, when was your baby born? Send me a picture. I figured you had one by now.
Yeah.
Because it's been 4 months. I did the math the other day. I texted somebody and she sent me a little picture.
Yeah, I know.
He,
Yeah,
he
you
came
do.
2 weeks early. It was exciting, she said.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yes, I thought that was fun.
What's one way though, when people are getting ready and are getting all their ducks in a row to buy a house, what should they have up front prepared for you?
Do not, and I cannot say this with enough stress, do not move money to help me because it doesn't help me.
Yeah.
It may help you, but if you can wait till after I've verified everything, then you can move to your heart's content once I have all my bank statements. If you move it before, I have to have every bank statement and explain where that money came from. And we end up writing letters and so forth and so on there. I think that's one of my main things is the other thing is to stay on top of your credit score. Because one of the things that has happened lately, and I know this is happening with the Huntsville hospital systems, is they don't give you 30 days to pay a bill anymore. They give you 2 weeks. And people have more medical collections. And they'll be $70 and it'll wreck their
wow.
credit.
Yeah.
And they don't know about it. And, if you had at least a notification from a credit, and, a lot of credit cards offer credit reports, credit monitoring. I tell people that I'm dealing with that, monitor your credit, stay on top of it. And please do not buy anything new.
Right? You do not need the Old Navy discount
No.
for getting the credit card.
Or the TJ Maxx one. That's always so tempting.
So I was in retail before, and I had, you get it as a young person because like I had to open so many cards. So I just opened my own. I'm like, oh, I'll pay it off every single time.
You
No,
don't.
you ain't gonna do
Famous
it.
last words. Absolutely.
And then as I moved to different retail, you get a card everywhere you go. And finally, when I got out of retail, like I have one and I'm working on getting rid of it.
Good for you.
So when I go to Belk, they're like, would you like a card? I'm like, no, I used to do that. Don't ask me. I don't want
It's
it.
a no for me.
You need to
Yeah.
keep one card open and always try to keep it below 30% of your balance.
Well, I'm just trying to get
Or
out
30%
retail
of your
cards
high
gone.
credit.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're okay, not credit
Yeah.
cards. I got
Yeah,
you.
not credit cards,
Good for
just
you.
retail
Good for
cards.
you.
They are dangerous.
Yes, they
So
are.
dangerous. Don't buy a new car.
No, just
Nothing.
wait. And if you wreck your car, I have had someone wreck their car and they totaled it and they had to buy another car, but they were replacing one. So if you're replacing one, don't just go do it. Call me about it. Let's talk it through. Let's talk about the payment. If it's going to increase, I need to know that. If it's going to decrease, yay, but I still need to know it. But if you do have unfortunate circumstance and you do have a wreck or whatever, it's not the end of the world. We just need to communicate about it and be in touch.
That's good to
and
know.
talk it through.
I don't even think I knew that. So let's get into that real quick. What is something that you have experienced somebody purchasing before closing, and how close to closing? Like
One
what
of
kind
everything.
everything.
One of everything.
What's the most ridiculous thing that you were like, seriously?
People are so gung ho about buying a washer and dryer on Labor Day sale.
just can't
and I
wait.
get it, that is, but it goes on past Labor Day.
He does.
The most ridiculous thing, probably a car, is probably the most ridiculous thing. But I've
before
had
closing?
people buy ATVs.
See, I
yeah.
feel like I'm just like, really? Did you need that side by
I've
side?
had people trying to qualify, and I've said, well, can you get rid of this family security debt? Is this a boat? Or, what is this? Oh, that's my Harley. I can't get rid of that. Okay.
What's the
You have
most?
2 kids.
What's the most that you?
Say, I'm not going to.
Right. We'll have that on another podcast.
That's a different podcast.
Yes.
What's the most you can spend right before closing?
0.
Like,
I mean, you can continue to use your credit cards, but I would say use your debit and try to just have groceries and pay your bills and do what you normally do on your bank statement. try to keep it to a minimum and don't spend any money if you
So
can
just
get away with it.
normal everyday spending.
And you can still have your morning coffees if you do that on a regular basis. If that's what your budget's used to, just don't do anything outside the box. Try not to get, a facial,
No
a hair
new flat
color, no new flat screen, please. Yeah.
Oh, really? Facial and hair color?
People do go, wow. I mean, you can do.
Are you talking about, like-
in addition to?
Okay.
Or like an extra,
Who knew?
I know.
Don't throw a party before you close on your
That's
house.
expensive. That's a lot. Yes, that adds up. I've seen that. I've seen a wedding on a bank statement. That was a lot.
Right before closing?
Yeah, it was planned and we knew about it.
Okay.
Their parents were giving them a gift. So they spent their money. They kind of did it backwards. They spent their money and then they got the gift for down payment
But you were able to work through that. Okay.
because we knew about it up front.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
If it had been a surprise, I probably would have
Yeah.
stroked out.
Right.
Yeah, it would have been a lot if I had
So-
seen that bank statement.
So honesty is the best policy.
Yes.
That's, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Share all the things with your lender.
Yes.
All of them.
And I tell people, you can tell me anything. I'm not going to tell anybody. It's all confidential. So things I don't need the file to know, I won't tell it. I'll just keep some things to myself.
Yeah.
We don't have to share everything. So some things are too messy and they don't matter. They would matter if we opened up that can, but we're not going to do that. So that's one thing where I try to make sure my documents are in line and we don't open up any cans of worms.
Yeah.
Bank statements are the worst thing to open up the can of worms.
Yep.
So I have a question on here. If grandma co-signs, does that mean she has to move in too?
She does
So
not.
do you deal with a lot of co-signing parents and things like that?
Not as much as I do gifts. Parents, I think, I don't know if it's a generation thing, if it's us Gen Xers that are feeling like we can't take this with us, maybe the crowd that's a little bit older than us. People are doing more gifts for their kids. And even like brothers and sisters. I guess if one's doing better than the other, they're happy to help.
Well, I guess I should ask for people who don't know, when would you need someone to co-sign with you?
If your debt to income ratio is too high, you can get a cosigner. And then I ask that. I say, can you, because it's going to cost, a lot of times it'll cost too much money to get the sales price and the loan amount down, or to get the loan amount down. It'll cost too much money, and a gift early getting an option, we need some income. But the income person can't have a bunch of debt.
Right. Yeah.
They've got to support, it's got to work itself out. And then they're tied to that loan for 30 years or until they refinance it. So that's why a lot of people don't want to refinance. Don't want to co-sign.
Yeah.
But we see it. And grandmothers are the best.
But then they don't have to move in with you.
No, they
If
do
they
not.
co-sign,
No.
they don't have to live in
They
your
don't.
house. So
No,
just know
they
that.
don't. You just have to answer to them probably more often than you used to.
Yeah. Do you deal with a lot of emotions in the midst of all of this? I know it's a lot of money,
Yeah.
so people can get very emotional over money.
They do. I think it's one of those situations where things will build up a little bit, and then they'll kind of take it out on me, and they may be mad because the appraiser hadn't been out there yet, or y'all didn't call them back in 5 seconds or whatever, and I'm in trouble, or vice versa. Y'all may get it taken out on y'all because
Yeah.
I didn't call them back in 30 minutes or whatever. I think a lot of it is not. I try to keep a thick skin, and it didn't take me but a minute to get that. And just know that it's not, most of the time, not directed at me. And if it is directed at me, most of the time they have a good reason for it to be, and it's because I'm asking for something they don't want to give me.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of times they just need somewhere to let it
To
out.
vent, and they can vent. That's what I tell them. You can tell them. You can let it out. Just let it out if it makes you feel better.
And you have to have a tough skin
You do.
in this business.
You do.
I mean, it took me a while to learn that, but you just can't take things personally. I
can't.
mean,
No.
even
because
if
it's not.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it really isn't.
So, getting close to the end, can you tell us a burnt toast moment that you experienced?
Well, mine is kind of career and life. I couldn't figure out one or the other necessarily. So when I left my former bank and left that security of 12 years, it was very scary. I mean, of course, but I had an opportunity that I really couldn't turn down. And leaving there was very tough. It was very hard to leave a 12-year situation. I started there when the bank was a year old, so I grew up with them. And, it kind of becomes a baby to you when you watch it grow and you buy stock and you watch you watch things happening, and then the bank sells and things like that happen. But I think that was probably the burnest my toast has been in a while.
And how long were you there?
12 years.
12 years. Yeah, I mean that's a long time.
It is a long, especially
that's
in
hard.
banking and the mortgage
Yeah.
business. People usually don't stay put that long.
Yeah.
It is a long time.
Why is that? They do jump ship a lot.
I think sometimes it's money, and I think sometimes in banking, I think a lot of times it's for promotion
Right.
and money, and then in mortgage, I think it's money, of course, and I think we get fed up with our situation, like with underwriting or something,
I got it,
like
yeah.
this, like the closing, the whole process. If it doesn't work for you,
Right.
sometimes
Things
you just gotta
outside
go.
of your control.
And you
Yeah.
always think the grass is greener.
Yeah, that's
you know
what I
how
was
that
thinking.
goes. Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't understand. I mean, you're doing it for you, but they get
Very
hurt.
very
Yeah.
personal. Take it very personally. I still have some people that I think, I don't want to say hold a grudge, but they haven't forgotten I've left them.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's exactly how it was when I started Merit House. It's, people think things are done as a direct impact to them,
I know.
but I'm sorry, but you didn't even come into play.
Right.
Like, this is for me, better for me. But
Support your people. It ain't
Yeah.
about you. It's about them
That's
and
right.
what's best for them and their family and all the things.
Absolutely.
Well, so we always ask people for a scripture or quote or something that has kind of gotten you through life. What is that for you?
For me, one of the ones I love the most is John 14:27, and it's peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Don't let your heart be troubled, nor let it be afraid.
Yeah.
And I just love the do not let your heart be troubled part.
Yeah, that's good. The fear part resonates with me too because I, try to tell myself, don't be scared of what's going to happen. God is in control,
Right.
all the time. Remind myself
All the time.
constantly.
God is good.
He is in control all the time, and all the time
the
God is good.
God is good.
What are your favorite scriptures? Do y'all have one?
God did not give you a spirit of fear, but one of a strong mind, sound heart. And so that's definitely,
I like that.
I'm going to be cheesy and go to the love is patient and kind verse just because I've always been obsessed with that. But also, she is clothed in strength and dignity.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
that's like
nice.
yeah.
female anthem.
Yeah.
I feel like those are both on like every plaque that you see everywhere, but I
Live
don't
like
know.
love.
Yeah. Oh gosh, please don't.
Exactly.
So bad. Well, thank you, Christy, for joining us today. I really appreciate you being here. And if you need a good lender, feel free to reach out to Christy Tabscott. If it doesn't work, I'm sure she can direct you to somewhere else. Like she said, you've got to date the lenders, try to figure out which one's the best one for
Absolutely.
you, personality wise.
Same thing with your real estate.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah,
gotta
don't.
be a good fit.
It's not about just picking who grandma told you to. You want to get out
Right.
there and
Just because they're your cousin don't mean they're good.
That's how that generational thing gets broken sometimes, I
Right.
think.
yeah. Well, y'all, I think we've officially learned that lenders are part financial therapist, part detective, and part babysitter maybe when it comes to people's spending habits. So if you're buying a house, do Christy a favor and don't buy a motorcycle. Don't open a credit card, and definitely don't make any big money moves until after closing, maybe a few weeks after closing.
Let's make it a few months.
A few months,
better.
okay.
Even better.
Keep it boring, people. Big thanks to Christy again for hanging out with us today. This has been The Beauty in Burnt Toast, where even the messy moments turn into something beautiful or at least worth laughing about. Bye, guys.
Bye.